Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, man, I'm going to do my video talking about the great Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker, wow. If you didn't see him fight, you really missed a treat. You really missed a jewel. Because I used to love to watch Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker fight. It was just like watching him fight was like magic. I mean, the dude is an Olympic gold medalist. I mean, he was a bad man. You know, he was bad, man. And it's unfortunately that we lost him today. But he will never be forgotten. Because I was a kid growing up, man. When I see him fight, I used to emulate the elusiveness he had. I mean, he was just hard to hit. It was just hard to hit him at one time. You know, if you a fighter and you up and coming, you should study tape of Pernell Whitaker, how elusive he was. And I'm just keeping it 100. You don't even have to be black. If you just want to learn elusiveness and how to, hit and not get hit, study Pernell Whitaker's early fights, man. He, like I said, man, I'm telling you. Pernell Whitaker, real talk, man, he was a mastermind at offense and defense. Because the same way he was hard to hit, he was a good offensive fighter too. You couldn't hit him and then he'd turn around and just box circles around you. But yeah, man, like I said, man, it was a real treat to watch him fight. And to this day, man, I have like an issue with what they did to him. I think that fight was in Texas somewhere. When he fought Julio Cesar Chavez and he got robbed, that fight was a robbery. I remember when I talked about Pernell Whitaker and that fight with Julio Cesar Chavez, some dude came on there trying to say, oh, the fight was correct. It was, I could tell by his name he was Spanish. He was more than likely Mexican, and he was trying to justify that fight being a draw, and anybody with common sense know that fight wasn't a draw. It was a travesty what the referees did to him. He outboxed circles around Julio Cesar Chavez. He had Julio Cesar Chavez looking foolish. I mean, Sports Illustrated ran an article saying robbed. Now, keep in mind, there was no social media back then when that fight happened. But everybody that saw that fight knew that Pernell Whitaker got robbed. And then let's talk about another fight. He also beat Oscar De La Hoya too. Most ringside observers had Pernell Whitaker winning that fight. He beat Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya once again had a hard time hitting Pernell Whitaker. But Oscar De La Hoya was an up-and-coming fighter. He was called the Golden Boy. He was the dude that they was trying to build up, and they robbed Pernell Whitaker of that fight. And I remember some clown came on my channel trying to justify and try to say Oscar won. Oscar didn't win that damn fight. Even Oscar knew he didn't win that fight. That's why Oscar's father, and I'm gonna tell you something. That fight, leading into that fight right there, is what made me instantly not like Oscar De La Hoya. Because leading into that fight, even though some of these Mexicans try to say that Oscar didn't say that, Oscar did say that shit. Oh, I can't look it up. He said it. He said it. He tried to attack black fighters and say black fighters, because he kind of was one of the dudes that started to put that bug out there about black fighters and runners, and they fight like cowards and they can't take body shots. So Oscar was sort of like the forefather in turning this into a racial thing. Had he said that now, it would be even bigger than what now. But at the end of the day, they tried to sweep it under the rug. Of course, they tried to say, oh, no, people are taking it the wrong way. No, I never forgot that. And I never liked Oscar De La Hoya after that. Because he kind of played a role in where boxing went to now. It always had been racial, but to a certain degree, it wasn't as ugly as it got now. And how it is on social media. But Oscar played a role in that, and that's why it wasn't no surprise about what happened with the emails towards Al Heyman. So I'm just saying, I just never liked him after that. Then, not to mention, after the fight was over, Oscar De La Hoya's father said that Pernell Whitaker was the devil and that they wasn't fighting him ever again. So I'm like, why you calling him a devil? Because you had trouble trying to hit him? What was up with that? So yeah, I'm just saying. That was what started my contempt towards Oscar De La Hoya. Because see, a lot of these boxing fans, they don't want to admit that he was one of the dudes that kind of started pushing that narrative about black fighters being runners and all that kind of shit. But the funny thing was, this is a dude that didn't throw next to no punches the last 4 rounds of his fight versus Felix Trinidad. But Oscar has always been a hypocrite. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. But anyway, getting back to Pernell Whitaker, he was just a mastermind. And you guys need to look at old footage of him, man. Blood Boxing did a documentary about Pernell Whitaker, man. It was some real good stuff. I hope it's still on his channel. But anyway, man, just wanted to put that out there. This is your boy Town Biz, and once again, rest in paradise to Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. I'm out.